Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sports Today. So, there's plenty of things that have been happening in the world whilst you were asleep. The world of sport, we know for a fact, never really stops, and there's always something or the other going on. And we know it's been very cold few days in recent times. In, of course, the Delhi NCR, India in general has been having a bit of a cold wave. So, if you wanted to have an early night, miss out on a few things, well, don't you worry. We guys have over at Sports Today have you covered. So, without further ado, let's just take a quick check in on what it is that has or has not happened over the past few hours. So, Sunil Gavaskar, the Indian legend, has spoken out against yo-yo tests and the introduction of the DEXA, which has, of course, been a recent thing in the BCCI has gotten out in order to improve the fitness of players. So, Gavaskar's opinion is that you don't need to measure one size fits all kind of fitness. You need to be cricket fit. In fact, the quote that which he's written an article in newspaper, and he said that over there. He said, "Fitness is an individual thing, and there is no such thing as one size fits all." Quick bowlers need a different level than spinners, wicket keepers need an even higher level, and batters perhaps the least. Cricket fitness should be the prime consideration. Now, of course, it is worth noting that the main reason the reintroduction of the yo-yo test and the introduction of the DEXA test came into place was because more often than not, there were far too many injuries happening, and there were recurring injuries happening as well. So, one player would get fit, then get injured again. You saw it happen with Deepak Chahar, Jasprit Bumrah. So, the BCCI wanted to bring in a new holistic process that would, of course, help them monitor injuries and perhaps not let it be at a point where you were actually having one too many injuries. So due to that, you wanted that the fitness levels improve, and that's also why you got the introduction or reintroduction of the yo-yo test. Now, sticking to cricket news, but moving on to another side of the globe, Australia South Africa has been happening. You'd see that the last test between these two nations ended in a draw, but there were a few controversial calls made during the test match, and a lot of those included low catches that were judged to the third umpire. Now, obviously, these are always contentious, and you can debate about whether or not there needs to be a soft signal, whether or not you need to be having a different way of judging these decisions. And Australia captain Pat Cummins has actually come out and said that, here the quote, he says that, "I think as it currently stands, it's really hard to give a batter out. If there's any kind of benefit of the doubt, it goes his way, his being the batters. I think with a couple of camera angles really slow down, it's pretty hard to not find doubt somewhere." Now, obviously, there has been a lot of issue over, benefit of the doubt, the soft signal, whether how exactly it is that you judge a catch. So, all he's saying is that there needs to be a simpler, better process for such things. But this wasn't the only interesting, controversial point from, of course, this particular test match. You had the rare instance of a batter being stranded in the 190s and the innings being declared. Usman Khawaja was the unfortunate man in this case. Of course, there was a mitigating circumstance in the fact that there was a lot of rain in between the test match, so he missed out on getting to that landmark double hundred, unfortunately. But according to Khawaja himself, he's gone on a radio show and he's spoken about the incident, and he said that, "Look, I realized that there was a bit of awkward energy between me and Pat when that thing was approaching, because there had been rain interruptions and everything." And I'm reading his quote thereafter. He says, "But it was alright. I actually made the effort. I went up to him being Cummins, and said, 'Mate, do whatever you need to. Don't worry about me. You've got to try and win a test match. We've all got to try and win a test match.'" So while Squadra obviously felt weird about it, he said that, "Look, I want to be a team player, and the need of the team that was winning this test match was a lot more important than me getting to that double hundred score. That was the more important thing. And what kind of a team, what kind of a team man would I be if I was going to be someone who wanted my own personal landmark instead of the team winning the test match." Now, moving on from the world of cricket to the world of football, Chelsea were playing an FA Cup fixture yesterday against Manchester City, lost 4-0. Seems to be a habit by the Blues at this point, so this one wasn't really a surprise. Don't forget, they lost to City just a few days back, and City were also the ones to knock them out of this year's Carabao Cup. There's plenty of other good news, of course, in the world of football. You had AC Milan and AS Roma play a thrilling 2-all draw in Serie A, and it was a very, very good match. AC Milan were leading 2-0 till the 77th minute, and then Roma struck back quickly. They made two quick fire goals, and well, they ended up getting a point out of it. It was a very good result for Jose Mourinho's men, but for AC Milan, it is going to feel like 2 points dropped. Moving on to La Liga, Barcelona beat Atletico Madrid 1-0 in the league game, and the result now ensures that Barcelona are 3 points clear of Real Madrid at the top of the table, so there's a good little cushion there, although they would want it to be more. But considering the fact that pre-World Cup it was very neck to neck between both these teams, a 3 point cushion seems like a very good cushion, and for Barcelona, takes them closer to, or takes them 1 week closer to actually getting close to claiming that all elusive league title. They haven't won it in a while, and they would be keen to actually ensure that it doesn't go the way of either both of their Madrid rivals, be it Atletico or be it Real Madrid. So moving on now from the world of football to a bit of tennis news. Novak Djokovic, who you'd remember, ended up missing out on the 2022 Australian Open due to issues regarding his vaccination status or lack thereof, will be of course making a comeback to the Australian Open this year. In fact, on his return to centre court, he will be playing Nick Kyrgios in an Australian Open practice match. Now that's going to be an interesting match to say the least, because both of these stars are fairly controversial characters, and perhaps more importantly, they are also someone who split opinion between both the Aussie public. So it's going to be really interesting to see who gets more cheers, who gets more boos. My money is on Kyrgios getting just a little bit more cheers, but never really know how these things work out. Either way, that's certainly going to be one practice match that will be very, very interesting to watch out for. And we're ending the news update with an interesting bit of news from the world of squash that it concerns rising young Indian star Anahat Singh. Now, you remember Anahat Singh if you were following the Commonwealth Games earlier this year. She was part of the squash team. She's only 14 years old. She was the youngest member of that team. And in fact, she's actually gone on to do something really amazing. She's won a British Junior Under-15 squash title. And in fact, not only did she win it, she did so in very dominant fashion, because of the 4 matches she played, she only dropped 1 game in those matches. So to say that she was having a good time in that particular tournament was an understatement, and more importantly, it was also worth seeing just how well she's been playing in recent times. She's certainly one to watch out for in maybe 4 or 5 years' time. She's someone who can be, flying the Indian flag bright and high when it comes to the world of squash. And that's it for this particular edition of the news update. Thank you guys all very much for joining us. As always, if you enjoy our work, please don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Last but not least, don't forget to download the AajTak app. Thank you all once again for joining us. For now though, bye-bye.